What's up guys, welcome to the channel. I'm just in the middle of building my Limitless ready for when the weather gets better, and I thought it was a good time to refresh everyone on what I use for speed runs. I reviewed this performance analyzer back in May last year. It hadn't been out that long, not many people knew about it. Everyone was still using the older GSM015 and GSM010 from SkyRC for their speed runs, and people still do use that. Some people prefer that kind of style where you can instantly see the readout on it, whereas on this one you can't. I spent quite a bit of time making a video on this, doing some top speed runs with this. I've done some 0 to 60. I also had my WR8 and I've done a speed run with the WR8 stock out the box, and then I've done a 0 to 40 between this on 6S and the WR8 on 3S. So I thought, with it coming to summer, with the popularity of speed runs going way up in the last 12 months, it was definitely time, I think, to have another look at this. On every single speedrun video I've made since May last year, I always get a question or 5 on what I use for speedruns. I think one of the main reasons for that is because I always use this app, and I think people presume that it's a speed app on my phone. What it actually is this little performance module using the SkyRC app on your phone to then record your speed and your acceleration and stuff like that. Anyway, this is I've re-edited it. I've taken my video from last year, I've taken a load of stuff out. It's still quite long, but it's quite an in-depth video, so I've taken some of the dead space out of there. Try to make it flow a little bit better, and we're going to have a look at this performance analyzer. If you want to see more on this beast, I'm going for the UK speed record this summer. At the moment I've got use of a real runway, and this is painted up like an aircraft, so it only feels right to stick it on that runway. Hopefully I still have use of it in the summer. If I do, this thing hopefully will be the fastest in the UK. I don't think I can go for any world records at the moment, but I definitely think I can push for one of the fastest out there. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the video on the performance analyzer, and I'll see you with this in the summer.
And this thing takes it a little bit further than the old faithful GSM010. So, I mean, there's a good indication of the size difference of them there. The only downside to that is there's no indication straight away, but it's very quick. We'll talk about that in a minute. So in the packet you get yourself a little mini USB charger, just the backing card there, and a comprehensive set of instructions. And this was really easy to set up and really easy to get going. Didn't take me long at all. It's got all your details there of like your status of your LED. Tells you on the back there how to do all your different recording and stuff. You can download from the App Store or Google Play the app for it, which I'll show you that in a minute as well. So simple. It's got, so it says GPS and GLONAS. It basically stands for Global Navigation Satellite System. It's the same, predominantly the same as GPS. If you want to look a bit more into it, have a quick Google of it. I think the reason for it being both is so you got more satellites up there. When I was on there and it was looking for them, it finds them so quickly compared to this, and you're up and running, ready to go really quick. Anyway, let's have a closer look in the app, and I'll show you some of the features it's got. So as soon as you open the app, it comes on. So you've got your Bluetooth connection there, and then your power indicator there. Once it's found satellites, which is already done, it's now showing that it's got 4 satellites. If you're outside, when I was out earlier, as you'll see, it found about 12, I think. You've got your drag. If you go into drag race, you can select speed, and you can go from 0 to whatever you want to go to. Or you don't have to start at 0. You can do like 10 to between 10 and 60 if you want to do a rolling speed. And it doesn't start recording until it hits the speed you set, and it won't stop recording until you hit that speed as well. So if you don't hit 40, it will just keep going and then keep reading. And then you can also set, if you want, if you don't want to do speed, you can set your distance. So if you've got like point A to point B, you can do that. So when you put track and press start, it will just start recording, and press stop. Once you've pressed stop, you then just press read, and it will come up. This is going to come up with nothing, although it did say our average speed was 17 mile an hour, but I think that's from earlier. So that's the track. And then I've not tested flying because I don't have anything to fly with, but I presume this will just tell you what your height and speed and stuff is. I think it records up to 25,000 feet or around that. Pretty high. Oh, sorry, 29,500 feet. And that's your flying mode. And like I said, I've not tested that, but it's got your distance, your time, it says average speed, and then it's got at the bottom there, see, it's got max height. That is max height from ground level rather than from sea level. So if I press start again, if I lift this up, there we go, look. And then bring it back down, stop, read, max height, oh, 0 feet. Oh no, it said distance 3 feet, so we did go up, but obviously not high enough for it to record the max height. Anyway, that's basic. That's the basics of the app. You've got some settings you can go into. You can change your unit of measure from like miles an hour to kilometers an hour. There's lots of other things you can do. If I go into records, you see I've got all these that I was doing earlier of testing stuff. Let's have a sneak peek at that one. That one's showing 0 to 40, 1.7 seconds, 1.84 G. We'll look at that in a second. But yeah, so you can log all of your stuff. You can clear it. You can change the name. And that's about it really for the app. So we've got the Limitless with infraction gearing. So it's got the 27 tooth pinion. I'm not sure what the spare is. I can't remember off the top of my head. Running a pair of 3S Gens Ace 5000 milliamp hour 50C 3S batteries and the 220 amp Beast Pro ESC, the DX5C transmitter. So just going to do a top speed run first, see what it does with that gearing. So it's a 4585 size motor, 1580 kV. I think it's branded, it's a Rocket branded one. So not quite as quick as the Limitless stock motor, but it's got a lot of torque, that. So I'm expecting, as long as we get over 60, that's fine, because I want to do some 0 to 60 runs. But anyway, top speed run first. The GPS nicely positioned on the top there, doesn't quite go in the middle because that dip, but nice and solid on there, not taking up too much space. Let's get it fired up and see how fast this thing goes. Right, so when you first power on, then what you're going to do is you're going to wait for the satellites to start popping up, and that's the centre there. You can see 7 up straight away, up to 8, and it goes up to 12. Once you've got your satellites and you want to start going, all you've got to do is select what you want to do. So we're going to select track, then we're going to press start, and we're just going to run it. It will disconnect from the app when it goes, I think it's 10 foot or 10 metres. It is still recording though, don't worry. And on this run, I had my brakes set to 0 on the transmitter. We had a bit of an issue. So, brake set to 0, luckily missed the tree. No damage, just dug into the grass a bit. Anyway, we got 69 miles an hour. Definitely a little bit more in it, so we gave it a second run. Right, remember to have the brake set. No brakes then. I love the sound of this. It's got such a good sound to it. So a few more runs, and then stop, have a look, and we got 70 mile an hour, which I'm happy with 70 on this with the gearing, and like I said, with the motor, with the KV. So next I decided it's time for some 0 to 60 times. Warm the tyres up first. So what you need to do when you're doing the 0 to 60, obviously set it up on the app. So we're going to go 0 to 60. And then when you're ready to go, you've got to make sure the car is completely still. It will start recording as soon as you start moving. So make sure it's completely still, and then when you're ready to go, hit the throttle and it'll start recording. As soon as it hits 60 mile an hour, it will stop and it will log the time. So let's have a look at the first run. Really squirreling around that was, trying to get traction, even though we warmed the tyres up. When you're ready, press read, and on this run we got 2.1 seconds to 60 and it pulled 1.42 Gs. Not bad for the first attempt. 2.1 seconds is pretty rapid. So gave it another try. This time, I mean, you'll see on this one that 2.4 seconds, but looking at the graph, you can see at the start, you see the acceleration, the red line. You can see where it starts to go and then it drops off and then it goes again. That was because I was struggling for grip on that run. And that, you know, it's a slower time, so I'd expect the slower time with that, that lack of grip. And you can see on the blue speed line as well, it's definitely not got that same curve. So let's put them next to each other and you'll see the one on the left is obviously the faster time and the one on the right the slower time, and you can compare them two together and you can see, look at, I mean, the red acceleration is the key for that one. You can see why it was slightly slower. So tyres are warming up nicely now, so I'm going to go for another run, give them a bit more of a warm up. Much better start, no squirring around that time. Press read, get the time off, 2 seconds. I mean, look at that, look at the acceleration on that as well. It's crazy acceleration. 2.1 G on that and a 2 second 0 to 60. So final test for this. I don't want to get the motor too hot. Done one more test, but didn't beat that 2 second time. 2.1 again. So I'm going to put the graphs next to each other now, and you can see, this is what I really like about this this new performance analyzer. You can stick all your graphs together, you can compare them, and if we look at them, we can see my fastest, looking at the fastest time and the slowest time, you can easily tell by that. You can just tell that there's a lack of grip on that 2.4 second one. I mean, it's 0.4 of a second, so it's not that bad, but looking at that graph, you can definitely tell they didn't quite have the same initial punch. Looking at that first one, the 2 second one, that shoots straight up to 1.5 G in the first. What's that? 0.3 of a second. Not bad. Anyway, that was the Limitless. Right, let's get the WR8 a run. Fits really nicely on the top of the shock tower and the braces on the back there. 3S LiPo, stock gearing, 15T. I think it's good for about 45, maybe 50 mile an hour. So we're doing top speed, then we're doing 0 to 40. Compare it to the 0 to 40 I'd done on the Limitless. So testing the WR8 out, this thing isn't as fast. It's geared quite low at the moment, so just giving it a bit of a warm up. Going to give it a top speed run, make sure we can hit, I wanted to do 0 to 40, so just making sure I can hit 40 with this. This hasn't got AVC or any stability or anything on it, so it's you gun it too quickly and it is all over the place. But we hit 43 mile an hour, that is good enough for me. So now it's time to set it up for a 0 to 40 sprint. As you saw, the Limitless got 1.3 seconds. It was all over the place on this one, and 2.8 seconds. Still pulling at 1.4 G. That was what the Limitless pulled when it was struggling a bit for grip, and this pulled that same acceleration. Anyway, gave it another try. This time 2.3 seconds. Again, just struggling for grip off the get-go. So for the last run, I was a bit more gentle on the throttle, and you'll see the difference. I mean, you can see straight away how quickly it just got off the line, and the results will impress you. Well, impressed me anyway. 1.7 seconds to 40, 1.84 G. And if you look at that acceleration, like the red line there, you can see we got plenty of grip, and off it went, and the times reflect that. 1.7 for the WR8. Put it next to the Limitless. Considering that Limitless is running 6S, the WR8 is running 3S. I don't think that's bad from that little HPI, is it? Look at the acceleration on that Limitless though. What an awesome curve that is. Loads of grip straight in there. 1.3 seconds to 40. That's it for this video, guys. Cheers for watching. I hope that gave some of you speed freaks out there a little bit more information about this. Even if you haven't got the fastest car, have you got the fastest accelerating car? Have you got the best performing car? This is going to tell you. Be interesting to see someone stick this on a truck, take it to the skate park and see how high you can jump with it. That is something I haven't tested in this video. I think that's a job for those that like to send their stuff to the moon, not a job for me at the moment. However, I am going to give it a test at the skate park. Cheers for watching. See you next time.